So lastly, water quality. I haven't seen any studies in Canada, but maybe one or two in the US, but there's a huge scope there to look at the water quality impact of organic systems as well. We have a new facility. We're going to do some work starting this year with collaboration with the U of S actually. Where we're going to try and a little bit put this all together, look at water quality impacts of different rotations plus greenhouse gas. And that will be a lot of work. There's PhD students starting on that. But just to conclude then, sort of to go back and repackage all of that, what can we say? Well, I think we can definitely say that we're beginning to get a picture that organic systems are distinct in terms of cropping sequence and rotation, and what impacts that has in all of the other things that I've been talking about. In terms of floral and habitat diversity for below ground, ground beetles, and for even wildlife and birds and pollinators. Energy use and efficiency, very different. Nutrient intensity, very different. Soil management and soil health, very distinctive depending on the farming system. And the energy use and efficiency there. I must have really wanted to emphasize that. Can we characterize and quantify these things? Yes. Or to borrow from Obama, yes we can. And but there's a lot more we have to do, and we need. And with the organic science cluster, which we're going to be talking about this afternoon, Dr. Hammermeister, it's the beginning of some national funding where we can begin to really tackle this. It's not easy to get funding to do this kind of work. Does it matter to consumers? Just a last point. Do Canadian consumers care? Are they willing to pay more for a farm, for an agricultural product, because we can demonstrate and document that the farm system is also beneficial for all kinds of reasons? Well, we're up against it. More and more Canadians live in cities, 80% now, and they're more disconnected from agriculture than ever before. And that's going to happen globally in the next 20 or 30 years as well. We're heading for, I think, 70% living in cities. But on the other hand, you can flip that around and say this is an opportunity. Organic uniquely might be able to make that connection between the farm and the farm product for consumers if we can really make that connection ourselves and promote what we know to be true from documented evidence. If we poll consumers, this is a few years old. I'd like to say more recent data. AC Nielsen went out and did an online survey of 20,000 organic consumers and asked them, which of these reasons do you buy organic? And so they did this around the world. And if you summarize the data and you ask them, do you buy it because organic is more kinder to animals, it's better for the environment, it's healthier for my children, and healthier for me? Sure, in Europe or globally, most think of a health benefit, but they also think of an environmental or an animal welfare benefit. If you shift to North America, those two almost disappear, and especially the environmental. It doesn't register at all to Canadian consumers that organic farming systems are different in terms of the environment. And I think we have a huge opportunity there to address that. So, to go back to where I started, this idea of value added, well, I think organic is a whole new approach to value added, or as the economist John Eichhardt says, values added. It's really a new paradigm, and so it's a new paradigm in that we can really inform the consumer about how a product is produced, not just where it's produced, but how it's produced, and ask them, do they care about that? And I think many of them